I've been waiting for TJ's big grab bag, so you just go ahead, take it away, man. Take it away.
What in the world is in that bag? What you got in that bag?
Oh man, it's been a long time since I've done this, but I'm gonna hit you with a kaboom! Guess who stepped in the room? TJ here. Listen, it's been a while since we did this big ass grab bag, TJ's top 5, and I'm gonna make this one quick. These are just, we came back from Phoenix, Arizona. We had a great time for the Super Bowl. We spent Wednesday through Thursday there. And there were just some observations that I made in the 3 days that we're there. And so I just kind of threw them all in a little bag, and I'm going to stir it up, and I'm going to pull them out. And I'm going to give you TJ's top 5 things that I just observed or saw or picked up on while we were in Arizona.
Okay.
Coming at number 5, Kirk, you mentioned that it was 75 degrees for the game, right?
Correct.
And a place where it gets 120 degrees sometimes, I'm telling you what, man, Phoenix really was cold.
Oh, at night?
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
It was
chilly
at night, man, and I didn't quite
Yeah.
realize it. We went to go see Bert Kreischer one night. Jason Feller, all he had on was a baseball jersey, no T-shirt, no jacket. I'm like, dog, you might need to put a coat on. As we stood outside of the Mullet Arena for 20 minutes waiting on an Uber, it was about 40 degrees out. I mean, my man looked at me and was like, thank God you made me bring a coat. So, yeah, you wouldn't have suspected a place that's so hot in the day to be so chilly, but man, it was cold at night. All right, coming in at number 4. We do this show every day, and you don't really take into consideration the fact that there are people on the other side of the TV screen and on the other side of the radio, right?
Right.
It was really kind of a humbling experience to have people come up and stop us on the street, in the convention center, at the hotel, and say, hey man, I love you on the show. I watched the show. It just blew my mind. Like, I had a security guard, as I was going up an escalator, was like, I watch you on TV. And I literally turned to him. I went, who, me? And he's like, you're the Cowboys fan, right? And I was like, oh, yeah, that is me. He goes, yeah, I watch you on TV. So just want to give a shout out to all the fans that came up to us, stopped us, and showed love, man. Like I said, it's kind of humbling to know that people are really out there watching, and it was super cool to kind of meet some of the people out there, man. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who came up to me, Chris, Mike, and I'm sure Rich as well. Coming in at number 3, right? It was the location of our set there. Everybody was in Media Row. And let me give you an example of something. You remember Atlanta, right? The show Atlanta. Well, in the first season, the season finale, Donald Glover wakes up at a party. Ernie wakes up at a party. All-nighter, he slept at the crib. He can't find his jacket. He's walking around looking for his jacket. And the guy who hosts the party is a little bit mad because they ruined his house, right? And he's like, you know what, man? I know y'all, but I don't know y'all. I knew you, but I don't really know you to be here messing up my crib like this. That's how I feel about the set. We was with everybody, but we weren't really with everybody. We had our own little spot in the corner. As you can see, we were by the NFL Experience. We weren't in the mix of Radio Row with all the shows on top of each other. That gave our show a really clean, just really cool look, man. So shout out to everybody who made that happen, from Roku to James to everyone involved, man. The set looked great. The show looked great. It was really dope. And speaking of that, we had number 2, the incredible guest list we had. I'm talking Hall of Famers. I'm talking Super Bowl champions, great comics, WWE superstars. Our people knocked it out the box, knocked it out the park with our guest list. So I give a shout out to Liz and all the other bookers, man, who our guest list was incredible. And literally there were people there that you were in awe of, that you got to sit and talk to. So that's number 2 of the thing that I picked up. We had a great guest list. Now, coming at number 1, Hoskins, play this real quick. I picked up on something. If we have
the way things are going now, guys are somewhat taking more control of just their life and the things that are going on. Back in the day, you play with a team for 100 years and you get a pat on the back in the end, and it's like, all right, well, whether you were a good player, unsung hero, Hall of Famer, that was it. Nowadays, the kids are like, well, nah. I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you kind of did that with Minnesota.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like I'm 100% agreeing, and I always have something to back it. You got to have a thorough explanation as to why you don't want certain things or why. And it's not necessarily selfishly, because at the end of the day, this is a professional business. This is a business, because if I tell you firsthand, if you're not doing your job, they're going to find somebody that is. You know what I'm saying? So if I am doing my job, or I kind of just want a different scenery, why not?
All right, so that was Bills wide receiver Steph Diggs, one of the best receivers in football. He was talking about, players kind of taking their own careers into their own hands. And what I picked up by that is he said, Now, wanting to play for the same team for 100 years, that's kind of out. Realizing if I'm doing my job and I wanted a different scenery, why not? You know what that told me, Kirk Morrison?
What's that?
That told me by hook or by crook, somehow, some way, Steph Diggs is going to make his way to Dallas to play with his brother Trayvon, and he's going to be a Dallas Cowboy. That's essentially what he told me. I don't know if you guys picked this up or not, but that's what I saw, and that was TJ's top 5 takeaways that I took away from our time in Phoenix for the Super Bowl.
That
all
was
right?
a long way to get to that.
Oh, man.
Hell going on.
The hell going on is right.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.